watching Canadian Muslim news on Muslim Network TV from Toronto, Ontario. I'm Catherine Bullock. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. Today, an interview with Dr. Mohamed El-Masry from University of Waterloo about the origins of Islamic History Month in Canada. But first, some news headlines. Trudeau visits Kamloops 6 months after tragedy. Alberta municipal elections underway. Canadian Governor-General departs on her first trip as the guest of honour. Colin Powell, first Black US Secretary of State, dies of COVID. And Muslims celebrate Prophet Muhammad's birthday today. And now, some details. For the first time since May, when the remains of more than 200 children were uncovered at the British Columbia School, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will visit the Kamloops community on Monday. Nearly 6 months later, the Indigenous community of Kamloops, which has become symbolic of the tragedy, is still struggling to heal as it continues the search for other remains and tries to identify the victims. In recent months, more than 1,000 anonymous graves have been found near former Canadian residential schools. Indigenous leaders in Canada are still waiting an apology from the Pope. They are also still waiting for the government to take further measures on reconciliation with the Indigenous population in Canada. Elections for mayor, councillors, and school trustees are underway in Alberta. Islamophobia is a ballot question for many living in the area. Within the last year, Edmonton has seen rallies that were attributed to the Ku Klux Klan and Nazis. The city has also seen higher rates of attacks on Muslim women wearing hijab. Nahid Nenshi, Calgary's Muslim mayor of 10 years, has not run for re-election. Born from parents that immigrated from Tanzania a few months before his birth, Nenshi transformed preconceptions of conservatism in Alberta. Nenshi did not run for re-election after deciding that other voices in the community had to be heard. Mary May Simon is on her way to Germany on her first international trip as the Canadian Governor-General. She will attend the 2021 Frankfurt Book Fair as a guest of honour. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stated that Simon is to attend to promote women and youth empowerment and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. Simon was sworn in as the Canadian Governor-General following the resignation of Julie Payette. Payette resigned over allegations of harassment and creating a toxic work environment. Simon is a strong advocate for Indigenous rights and culture. She was sworn into her role in July as the first Indigenous Governor-General in Canada since Confederation. Colin Powell, America's first African-American Secretary of State, died on Monday of complications from COVID-19. He was 84. Powell was fully vaccinated against the virus. The son of Jamaican immigrants, he rose to become a 4-star general and chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, serving under 4 presidents. Powell built a reputation as a man of honor, distant from the political fray. But he saw his legacy tarnished when he made the case for war in Iraq in 2003. Muslim Americans remember him for his eloquent defense of the Muslim community in 2008. That was when former President Barack Obama's presidential bid was being challenged based on Islamophobia. Here is a Muslim Alert Network memorial for him. And today marks the 12th day of Islamic month of Rabi al-Awwal. It is also the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, God's peace and blessings be upon him. While the 2 Eids are the only major Islamic holidays, Muslims in many countries still celebrate this day. Among the commemorations for the Prophet's birth was this gathering at the Mosque of Uqba in Kairoun, Tunisia, and a prayer at Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque in Istanbul, Turkey. In Russia, Muslims gathered at the Moscow Cathedral Mosque for celebrations and prayers. At Faisal Mosque and the Parliament House building in Islamabad, Pakistan, vehicles were illuminated with colourful lights. And here is the Quran being recited at a mosque in Tokyo. That's it for the news. And now our interview with Dr. Mohamed El-Masry, a professor at the University of Waterloo, about the origins of Islamic History Month in Canada. Welcome to the show, Dr. El-Masry. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Everyone's talking about Islamic History Month in Canada. In Ontario, of course, it's called Islamic Heritage Month. But I don't think people know how this month actually came about. So we need the history of Islamic History Month. I believe you're involved in helping bring it about. So can you please tell us the origin story of Islamic History Month in Canada?
Well, I want to take you back to 1998, where I did find that Muslims in Canada need a voice. So I did study a parallel experiment, which is a Canadian Jewish Congress. And I created in 1998 and registered a non-profit corporation called Canadian Islamic Congress. One of the activities of this Congress was culture, and was a dinner, an annual dinner in Parliament in Ottawa. We invite the Prime Minister, Member of Parliament, the Muslims across Canada, their leaders, and also every year we make a culture event. One of the event during that dinner was inviting a professor of Quranic recitation from Indonesia to recite Quran in Parliament during that dinner. Mm-hmm. The idea is to do a reach out, because most Canadians don't know Islam and they don't know Muslims. Following this dinner, annual dinner, we thought actually to convert the more culture activities to another organization, which was born out of CIC, and we called it Canadian Islamic History Month, Canada. And it was a register, and also trademark was granted.
And so you approached Parliament and somehow got them to recognize it as a month in October. Tell us that story.
Yes, we approached one key member of Parliament, and we asked him to do recognition from the federal Parliament in Ottawa that October is designated as an Islamic History Month.
And did you find a lot of negative feedback or pushback, or how was that so successful?
Almost, I would say 99% of the MPs at that time was very supportive. I think there's only one or two declined, but did not actually vote, but declined to vote for the recognition. Following this, immediately in October also, that's 2007, and this is what happening. So it's an old month, actually, it's not brand new. So since 2007, the city of Ottawa, city of Kingston, 3 cities in British Columbia, Calgary, and every year we approach the mayor of each of these cities. We said to them that the federal government has already passed this as recognized this as a Islamic month. Would you could do the same?
It seems to me that now my memory has gone blank on me, but was that during the Harper years, 2007?
It was, but it was not a political move from our part, and not a political move for their support, because Black used to have one a month in February, as you know, and so this is a parallel to a minority, which is Black Canadians.
But when Iqra Khalid tried to propose Motion 103 to condemn Islamophobia and all forms of racism, there was a big outcry. She got death threats and all kinds of things. How would you kind of explain getting such widespread support?
I think the Canadian Islamic Congress did a good job to do a reach out every federal election when I was the president, because I was founding president of CIC. We used to grade member of parliament who seeking re-election. And also candidates, new candidates, something like 700 people across Canada. We grade them not only because of Islamophobia, but because of their stand on taxation and immigration, and also on the war in Iraq, etc., etc. And we give them either A, this means that we recommend that you can vote for, and we give the reason for that, or B, come see, come saw, and F means fail, that that person overall his views or her views on these issues are not consistent with outright paper.
So your sense is that that had an impact and that helped garner support.
Definitely, the, Canadian Muslims also started to do voting, and we used to conduct an exit vote per riding, and we were noticed in the media and also in the election. And I used to get many ministers calling me. I said, I got F in our rating, but I did lots of services to my community, Muslim community in riding. So I told them, I'm a professor. If you think that F is not reasonable, we will review that. Please send me what you did to the community in your locality. So this has big impact.
So you said that the first declaration month then was 2007, which is about 13 years ago.
Yes.
Do you remember the first Islamic History Month celebration that you were part of?
Yes. I mean, I was there about 7-8 years before I retired from CIC and from Islamic Month. We tried actually to get the community to donate to get heavyweight speakers. For example, as you know, Sayyid Hussein Nasr from Harvard and MIT. He's a top-notch author. We got lots of his books, and we got him in a tour across Canada. And it's a public tour. And we did things like the contribution of Muslims to science, to arts, to other areas. And we did a book, which we call actually that for the community to buy a book, donate a book to the library near you.
Well, we have to wrap it up, but just one quick last question. Looking back, what do you think has been the most important legacy of this month so far?
Well, I think most Canadians are reasonable people, and they don't know about their own religion. So it is not really their fault that they misunderstood Islam. So it is the community responsibility to do a reach out, to say that we love music, we love arts, we have calligraphy, and we have other activities. And the Muslim MDs in Canada contribute to the well-being of this country, especially now during the COVID-19.
Do you feel disheartened over the last maybe 4 or 5 years? There's been a rise, it seems, in Islamophobia. Do you feel disheartened if you had this aim for the impact of the History Month, it's not reaching the right people or enough people? Or
yeah, I would say we need to double our effort. I mean, this is our responsibility, and nobody will do it for us. So if this is happening right now, and I agree with you, this is assessment that the community itself has to do a reach out. Just to give you one example, the federal government under Trudeau did establish an office for anti-Jewish hate, and it has a big budget, and appointed a Jewish Canadian to that office. So we have to press the federal government to do another one similar to this for Canada's Muslims.
Mm. Well, that's another thing to lobby for, I guess, another uphill challenge for us. But we thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us the origin story of Islamic History Month in Canada. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye now. Bye. Assalamu alaikum. That's it from us. You've been watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Stay tuned for the next episode. Stay safe and God bless.